Yeah, basically we had a person that came through immigration that was being viewed by immigration as a non-general visitor visa, and whilst they were interrogating that person to see whether they suited to come into Australia, they located some credit cards and assorted cards, a multitude of cards not belonging to the actual person, which was another female's name. And we were called to actually seize the items, as immigration don't have those powers. And once we arrived to that location, we quickly ascertained that something was not 100% correct. Yeah, the nature of the actual cards and the belongings, what the person was carrying, it wasn't something that you would have one or two credit cards. Like I said, it was a multitude of credit cards and personal belongings. Driver's license, identification card belonging to a female, her phone, her bag, her torquay belly bag, things that you certainly wouldn't give over voluntarily to another person to take. So that's definitely raised suspicion from the outset, from the get-go. Initially, my idea was he did obtain the goods unlawfully, and my initial plan was to return them to the actual owner in South Korea via the South Korean consulate at a later stage. But then as it looked a bit more, come across a bit more sinister, as we spoke to immigration, we got the report, he was hastily packed. We found out that he booked the ticket 2 hours prior to flying. And also when the phone had rang, immigration had already decided to turn this person around and not grant him a visa into Australia. But when the phone had rang, and there was a person looking for the person on the phone, like a welfare check, and they couldn't get in contact with them for 2 days, that's when it raised my suspicion even further. I managed somehow to keep him on the phone for a short period of time, and I realised that it would more likely be a Korean person. So I quickly ran around the airport. Unfortunately for us, it is a multicultural airport, so there are a lot of different nationalities. I initially ran up to the Korean Airlines office, but then after 5 p.m. they were shut. So then I had a quick dash around to all the different stores, and finally I located a lady at the Discovery store that was living in Australia for more than 20 years, but was born and raised in Korea. But the phone had hung up by that stage. So and I was hoping that it would ring back again, and it did, and that's when we got her onto the phone, and she was able to translate the information from the concerned person in Korea looking for her friend. Yeah, look, it was. Definitely, I knew there was something a bit more sinister then, because when she said on the phone that she couldn't get in contact with her colleague for 2 days, initially I thought, well, obviously the phone's not there, so she couldn't answer the phone. At that stage, we still didn't know what had occurred, so I quickly got in contact with the South Korean consulate here in Sydney, spoke to the police attaché officer, and reported her that we have concerns for her welfare, that we've got people from Korea ringing about her, asking that she hasn't turned up to work for 2 days. So then it became more of a grotesque situation, so that it escalated to that level, and then obviously us liaising with the Korean officer to and fro with messages meant that the next morning when we found out that the outcome wasn't as we were hoping, it was kind of, obviously it wasn't the best outcome, but we got a quick result and locate the person. Oh yeah, look, it's good to get recognition, and obviously the South Korean consulate here in Sydney, the Consulate General, and the actual police attaché officer was very pleased with the AFP's work, and a quick response. Like that afternoon, we were on the phone to them onto their personal mobiles to explain what was going on and our concern, and their recognition was fantastic. We took us for dinner, for lunch, and we got a medal and a watch from the consulate of South Korea here, so it was very pleasing to get that recognition.